What's up, friends? Welcome in to Rock Chalk Sports here on KansasNation.com with Dan Courtwright. I'm Sean Kellerman. Got another full show for you here as we are on Christmas Eve.
Yes, Christmas Eve.
Yes, officially.
Or we're 363 days away from last Christmas.
We are, yeah. Another great way to put it. Hope you guys are excited for the holiday and get a lot of great time with family and friends. Great food as well.
Yeah.
The unsung hero, food and drink of the holiday season.
What's your what's Kathleen cooking up?
Oh my gosh, man. We usually go with
Cheese balls, right?
so we switch it up for.
That's her big thing.
I mean, have you had a cheese ball that she's made?
No, you showed me a picture once.
Oh, so good.
It looks fantastic.
I'm proud of you for remembering that.
Yeah, it's always stuck with me.
No,
It's my two favorite
switch
things.
it up for cheese and balls.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. We switch it up for Christmas usually because we've got, Thanksgiving you have the normal stuff, but Christmas, a lot of people go with the honey ham, which I like, and I had that as one of my top Thanksgiving foods, I believe. But for Christmas, we at times are spoiled and can get steak or prime rib or that sort of thing. I'm hearing that we're going to be staring down the barrel of some brisket sandwiches. I mean, hard to argue with that.
That's nice.
Right? What about old CC and Teresa?
I'm not sure what we're doing for our family Christmas. We're doing ours on the 29th, that Monday night. I'm actually going to be in the state with no more NFL teams. I'm going to be over in St. Louis for my fiance's family. I'm not sure what they're cooking up. I don't know if it's going to be any traditional Christmas type meal or whatever. Usually my mom will make like Mexican food. So I'm looking forward to that.
I'm in.
I'm willing to bet she'll make Mexican food this year again.
I mean, that's hard to argue with. I don't want the same thing as Thanksgiving.
Sure. No, that's fair. I think that's fair. I honestly don't know what the Thanksgiving meal plans are.
So what's your go-to Christmas treat while we're on the subject? I mean, because there's so many different things. Like there's the Rolos with the M&M on top of the pretzel. Mm-hmm. My mom makes this thing called Divinity that's basically like a homemade marshmallow.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. Yeah, so good.
Man.
I mean, there's like Oreo balls, cake pops, I'm just trying to think. There's just so many. Like, obviously, your humble cookies. There's so many options.
Right. So my dad, who bless his heart, he can't cook worth a damn.
No.
But the one thing that he's really good at is making lemon cookies.
Starbucks. Oh.
No, lemon cookies. He would always set out lemon cookies for Santa Claus every single year, and he'll usually make them, and they're really good. I hate soft pretzels, but I want to be clear. I love hard pretzels, and so chocolate dipped hard pretzels, I think, are my favorite.
Those are so good.
They're fantastic.
And you know what else is good? Nut clusters. Kind of the same, like the peanut clusters. So good.
Yeah.
But Oreo cake pops, like I have some of the sisters-in-law in my family will I don't know what you do. There's cream cheese involved. I know that. And chocolate. They're amazing.
You know what's underrated? And I wouldn't consider, it's not a sweet snack, but it's a snack, and it's not the main course. Pinwheels.
Oh,
with like the cream cheese.
Big fan.
Dude,
big fan. You can like dip them in salsa.
I will tear those up.
Yeah, man. Also salami with a little cream cheese dollop and a little pickle in there. Roll it up.
Ooh,
God, man. I know. A lot of eating.
How are you
a
not
lot of
400
drinking.
pounds?
I'm getting there. A lot of eating, a lot of drinking over the holidays. Don't worry, though. We will be on air tomorrow, Christmas Eve, Rock Chalk Sports. So make sure that you are locked in if you're, wanting a break from your family. But we're talking a little KU transfer portal stuff, alleged transfer portal stuff tomorrow. And also we're going to talk about the big news, which is the Chiefs, which we're going to get into a little bit later in the show. Right now, though, going to break down KU Davidson as the Hawks blow out the Wildcats last night. Then we're going to hear from Kohl Rosario and Jamari McDowell at the podium postgame of Kansas' 29-point win. Following that, David Lawrence is going to come in studio, my co-host on the Jayhawk Sports Network from Learfield, and of course he's color analyst for Kansas women's basketball as well. The KU women lost a heartbreaker, but what a performance in Ames against the top 10 Iowa State team. We'll get David's thoughts on the outlook of the Kansas women. Did that without Jalea Davis. Without a couple key
really
players.
Impressive.
So we'll get David's thoughts on the Kansas men, the Kansas women, and perhaps some football chatter from former Jayhawk captain David Lawrence. Following that, Dan, it's a Top 10 Tuesday.
Yes, and it's a very special Top 10 Tuesday. Is a Christmas edition of the Top 10 Tuesday. I'm doing my 10 things you don't – top 10 things you don't want for Christmas.
Okay.
I don't know why, and it's not going to be a
torn ACL.
You're right. Yeah. No, it was also that, and
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes and Gardner Minshew both
Yeah.
got that for Christmas. Very unfortunate. I can't imagine that was on their Christmas list. But yeah, I was thinking about this because my girlfriend got me something that I was like, interesting, and we had the conversation, and I'm always appreciative. I'm really bad at getting gifts because I just don't like receiving gifts.
Yeah. Oh, I hate opening gifts.
I do
It's the
too.
worst.
Why I don't like because like if you give me something, then I feel like horrible and I have to like way overdo it, and then I'll just forget, and then I'm just constantly like filled with like guilt of not getting people gifts.
Right.
So I'm really bad at getting gifts, but I've gotten some things in the past where I'm like, that was, I don't know. I guess I could do without. You know what I mean? So everybody's had those gifts. Obviously, you're very appreciative for every single gift that you get, but at the same time, there's some things that you just don't want. You'd prefer to have something else. So that's what I'm going to be doing, my top 10 things that you don't want for Christmas.
All right, fair enough. Top 10 Tuesday coming up a little bit later in the show. You're going to be able to hear that as well on ESPN Kansas City. Following that, we're going to hear from the two-time national champion Bill Self, and then we'll talk Chiefs as it's kind of surreal seeing some of the messages on social media. The Royals are bidding them adieu. The Chiefs are saying we're excited to be to Kansas. KU Athletics is posting things about being excited the Chiefs
They're
are
moving over
coming.
to your neck of the woods.
Yeah, right. The two-time national champion Bill Self, who also had an additional third-team finish as AP #1 team in the country, he was asked about it as well. We'll hear his thoughts on the Chiefs to Kansas. But, yeah, we'll get into that later in the show. Let's talk about this game last night, though. Daniel, KU 90, Davidson 61.
Before we get into that, I want to give a quick shout out to Crown Automotive. Shout out to Miles Schneider, Crown Automotive. They sell new Toyotas and Volkswagens. They will do everything that they can to get you in the car that you need. Excellent customer service out there over in my neck of the woods. Crown Automotive. Look at them up at crownautomotive.com.
Yeah, crownautomotive.com. Again, Toyotas, Volkswagen. They are closed these next couple days for the holidays. Make sure that you are reaching out, though. That's
a good present to get, by the way. A new car.
It is. Are you kidding me? It's fantastic.
Hit them up.
Yeah, Miles Schneider, seriously, really appreciate their partnership over there. And we're talking KU basketball with Crown Automotive in mind here in the Open, 90-61. Dan, I'll let you take this. A lot to like. I mean, this game was about as picture perfect as you can hope, especially for people who do the post-game shows. It's like, man, this game was over by 8:45. This was a quick game. We only had a total of 12 fouls called in this game. Kansas had everything clicking, 6 in double figures, and this is back-to-back games, Daniel, that the Hawks have hosted teams that maybe aren't top-tier mid-major teams, but are still well-respected mid-major programs in Towson and Davidson, and KU just took it to them.
Yeah, and, like you said, there's really nothing to dislike about this game. I thought KU was firing on all cylinders, and ever since the NC State game, Bill Self came out and said, hey, look, we do not play fast. Our pace of play needs to be substantially faster. A lot of guys were sticking. Not a lot of ball movement was being done in that NC State game. KU still managed to squeak out a win, but I think when you look at these last two games, it has been a complete 180, and that tells you that the guys are really listening and they're really hammering this home in practice. This has probably been a point of emphasis, as we heard from Kohl Rosario in the post-game press conference that it has been a point of emphasis, and they have been trying to play a lot faster, and it certainly seemed that way. I thought Kansas on all facets of this game were excellent, mostly on the defensive side of the ball. We'll talk offense. KU obviously shot upwards of 50% from the three-point line. They had 11 threes in this game. From the field, they were excellent. Trey White had an excellent game on the offensive side of the ball. But on the defensive side of the ball, Kansas forced 16 turnovers, and 13 of them were steals.
Yeah.
I mean, that
the most they've forced all year.
That's amazing. That is absolutely incredible to have 13 steals in a game, forcing 16 turnovers against a Davidson team who, going into this game, facilitation and spreading out the scoring was really the name of their game, right? They had a number of different guys who were right around the 9 to 10 point range. So that shows you that they have a lot of different guys who, they don't have one guy who sticks out above the rest, but they have a lot of different guys who can score. So they like to pass the ball around. And Kansas was getting in those passing lanes. We saw a number of different steals, a number of different times where Kansas was in transition. I didn't love, that's probably the one thing that I didn't love. I thought Kansas was relatively bad in transition. There was just a few times where, they weren't able to finish, or they dribble the ball off their foot or a bad pass happened here or there, something along those lines. There's probably 3 or 4 times where that happened, but that's probably the only thing that I noticed where maybe that was a negative. But Kansas did an excellent job on the defensive end of the ball. Kansas, they held them to only 36% from the field. They did shoot 37% from the three-point line, but 5 of those maybe came in the last couple of minutes of the game. So, I still think Kansas played really well against this Davidson squad, who again was a really good ball movement style of offense. And, Kansas defensively has got to be the best team. I know that they're numbers will go down probably on the defense on the 3-point side of the ball, right? Because Kansas has not had a team shoot over 30% all year on them. They were number 1 in terms of 3-point defense in the nation. They were number 1 in effective field goal percentage in the nation as well on the defensive end of the ball. Still held them to a very low field goal percentage, but the 3-point percentage was at 37%, 11 for 30. So they'll probably go down, but that's not the story of this game. I don't care if Kansas goes down in terms of the numbers. Kansas defensively, this is probably their best defensive game of the year.
Well, and Kansas, for what it's worth, moves from 7th in KenPom defensive efficiency to 7th in KenPom defensive efficiency. So still, not a concern. Although Davidson did hit 11 threes, again, a lot of them didn't really matter. We knew they were going to shoot a lot, have a lot of guys who try to stretch it, and majority of those at the end of the game, so it didn't matter as much. But some of these individuals were really, really impressive. And you just talk about, again, the hot start for Kansas. It would have been easily understood, I think, even from KU basketball fans, if either of these last 2 games, Dan, had been maybe trap games or had the trap game feel, maybe a Bill Self early timeout was necessary or something like that because Kansas didn't get off to a hot start. That did not happen. Kansas got up in this game 19-6. They were up 13-3 on Towson. And again, this isn't Corpus Christi or Green Bay. I mean, these are solid programs, and the prognosticators said, okay, these are going to be closer games than maybe some people expect. Kansas just goes out and dominates. You could have had the trap game for Towson because it was after the NC State game where everything went well, emotion. You had an incredible individual performance from Melvin Council. And then this is a classic trap game where it's before the holidays, right? Guys are sick of seeing each other. They're sick of hearing from the coaches. They're ready to get home. Big 12 play is on the precipice, and they just need a break from each other and all that. That didn't matter at all. Again, 19-6 start, Kansas, and then they really don't put their foot off the gas. At one point, Davidson had a 10-2 run in this game, and then Kansas, after timeout, answers with a baseline 3 from Kohl Rosario and then a Trey White 3. White started 4 for 4 from 3. All of a sudden, Kansas, who had seen their lead trimmed to 9, it was back up to 24 before the late Davidson timeout in the half at 51-27. And then second half, same sort of deal. Kansas all of a sudden is up by 31 at 66-35.
Yeah.
Davidson goes on a 10-0 run to make it 66-45. How does Kansas answer? A 9-0 run. You get Jamari McDowell 2 free throws, Flory Padunga, who was great in this game, deep post scores, Flory inside off the glass, and then Jamari McDowell a 3. Bam, Kansas is back up by 30. There just have been so many scenarios through the non-conference this season where Kansas finishes 10-3, where I think fans, maybe from watching games the last couple of years, are thinking, oh no, here it goes. Like, you're down 12 against Tennessee at 53-41, 55-43. Oh, this game's over, right?
Yeah.
No, that's not how it works with this team. Or, oh man, I think this Davidson team might actually, force Bill Self to call a timeout. And I'm not saying it's all been perfect. There have been ups and downs, and KU's lost 3 games, and I get that. But this Kansas team seems to respond, and it's just another reminder they're not these past couple Kansas teams, and they seem to play together. And again, without Darren Peterson, look at the offensive output compared to the first time that we saw this group of guys without Darren Peterson.
Yeah.
I mean, Kansas scores 90 points, and they look like a quality offensive team. A lot of work to do. You're not always going to go 11 of 21 from 3, shoot 52%. Coach Self will be the first to remind you that everything looks better when you make shots, and that's
Right.
very true. But before we get into the individuals, just really impressed how Kansas has seemed to not fall to the trap game mentality, I guess. And, that's going to be important because even though the Big 12 is a monster, you're still going to have some teams in there that Kansas should beat, and it's going to be a little trickier than you'd think.
Right. And, to your point, this game before Christmas break, right, all of these guys are probably thinking, man, I can't wait to get, usually, right, in terms of, stereotypically, they're always like, oh, I can't wait to get on the flight and get home to my family and spend Christmas with my family. All I got to do is get through this game, and then I'm on a flight back to wherever, right? But this is probably the best game I think I've seen Kansas play all year, right? I don't think there's any question about it. Kansas scored 90. They held Davidson to 61, even though they made 11 threes. On the defensive end of the ball, they were fantastic. And then, like you said, on the offensive ball, they were fantastic as well. You saw Flory working down low. He had 18 points, 8 for 11 from the field, 8 rebounds, right? Melvin Council, I thought, had an excellent game just in terms of, being that court general that he typically is. He finished the game with 10 points. He was crossing dudes up and
9
had
assists,
a couple
7 rebounds,
9 assists. I mean,
1 turnover.
Yeah, that was. I mean, he was on triple-double watch.
Yeah.
When's the last time a Jayhawk had a triple-double?
Kevin McCullough actually had one in back-to-back games.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
So a few years ago.
A few years ago, right? There was none last year. So, I think Melvin Council had a fantastic game, right? And he's back to what we thought Melvin Council was going to be, right? So he hasn't changed his game. Yeah, and sure, he was shooting threes, right? He made 1 of 2. He was 4 for 6 from the field and was getting to the bucket. But at the same time, like, his court vision has been so exceeding expectations this year. It's just been unbelievable.
It would have been so easy for Melvin Council to go on a 2-3-4 game heat check after the NC State game.
That second 3 that he had was a little bit of a heat check.
What, in the game yesterday?
Yeah.
But he was 4 of 6, 1 of 2.
No, I know.
I'm just saying, a game's, for 2 weeks he could have gone on a heat check, like, oh, I'm feeling good about myself. He made 3 threes against Towson. But what I liked, and I even said this during the NC State game, where he scored 36 points, he's not playing out of his he's doing what he's supposed to. He's still Melvin Council. Like, he still understands who he's supposed to be as a player. He hits 3 threes. They came to him against Towson. And then in this game, he didn't need to score as much. He had 10 points on 4 of 6, 1 of 2 threes. And then he has 9 assists and 1 turnover and 7 rebounds, a couple steals. So just really impressed with him and the fact that so many guys will have a big monster game like that and then decide that they're that guy. Right. Well, he is still playing with utmost confidence, which you love to see, but he's not playing outside of himself. And then, you mentioned Bidunga, but a lot of individuals were really impressive last night.
Yeah, and, 2 guys I want to shout out, and they were the 2 guys that we saw at the podium yesterday, Jamari McDowell and Kohl Rosario. I'll start with Jamari McDowell. We had Springer on the show yesterday, and I guess it just hasn't really, rung a bell in my head yet that Jamari McDowell has been maybe one of the bigger pieces to be able to step up in absence of Darren Peterson, right? He had 10 points tonight, 3 for 4 from the field, 2 of 3 from the three-point line. And Jamari McDowell, whenever he's out there, there's no decline. Well, and I guess comparatively to Darren, maybe, right? But there's really no decline in terms of offensive productivity and defensive productivity when Jamari McDowell is out there. He has really found his role, and that's the beautiful thing about it, is that with these program guys, with these veteran guys, they understand what their role is. Jamari McDowell isn't going to go out there and score 25 points a game, but he's going to do what he needs to do, and he is so good at everything that he's supposed to do, right? Playing defense, facilitating the ball, hitting a shot whenever they need him to hit a shot, right? So I think Jamari had an excellent game. This is probably the best game that I've seen him play in his Kansas career. And then Kohl Rosario, we talked about him yesterday too, about how is he going to be in this 7-minute purgatory for the remainder of the season, right? He's coming off the bench. He'll miss a couple of threes, but he'll be really athletic, and then Self will take him out after 7 minutes. He had 19 minutes, 13 points. He went 3 for 7 from the three-point line. It's so good for the young kid, Kohl Rosario, to see the ball go through the hoop and gain some confidence and gain some momentum, especially heading into Big 12 play. And I think he's going to be playing a much larger role. And I think we're finally seeing him catch up to the game, right? That's been my biggest criticism, I guess. And you always make fun of me because you think I'm a Kohl Rosario hater. I'm not a Kohl Rosario hater. I just personally thought that he wasn't ready yet, and the game was a little too fast for him. And I think that now that we're watching him kind of, catch up a little bit, right? We're seeing him catch more of a flow in the game. We're seeing him, understand back cuts and understand, feeding the ball with paint touches. We're seeing him understand when he should be shooting threes. And then on the defensive side of the ball, I just think he's been excellent. The kid is just such a born hustler, and he's so athletic, can jump out of the gym. He's got such a tremendous upside, and I'm glad to see him finally catching his feet, and hopefully this moves forward. Do I see him getting back in the starting lineup? Probably not, but do I see him getting more than 7 minutes a game? Hell yeah.
13 points. You mentioned the 3 threes. His other 2 field goals were finishing off lobs. I mean, that's what he does, just so athletic. A couple offensive rebounds as well for Rosario, 1 of 6 in double figures last night for Kansas. But hey, Trey White, I mean, we got to talk about him. 18 points.
Yeah, I know.
7 of 12 from the field, 4 of 5 from 3, 8 rebounds, an assist, 4 steals as well for Trey White. And it's interesting because I brought this up with Nick yesterday. He's played a lot better when Darren Peterson hasn't played. Like, if you look at his game logs, the first couple games of the season against Green Bay and Corpus Christi, he wasn't that good. And then all of a sudden, when DP was out, Trey White was able to really play much better. And I'm not just talking from a numbers standpoint. Like, yeah, his numbers are going to naturally be better. He's going to score more points, that sort of thing, as are most of these guys when DP is not out there taking 15, 17 shots, however many it is. But he is seemingly taking better care of the ball and looks a little bit more comfortable, I would say, when Darren's not out there. And hopefully Darren will be out there January 3rd, KU's next game against UCF. But you got to like Trey White right now kind of being one of the alphas when DP's not out there. And he can shoot. Yeah. I mean, this is a guy who he was 0 for 6 a couple games ago, and he responded with 2 for 4 and 4 for 5. A guy who's been in the low 30s most of his career, three-point shooter. His shot looks good. And for the record, Kohl, Rosario, and Bryson Tiller, we know they've had their struggles from the perimeter. Both of them have really good-looking shots. Rosario's always out there getting shots up. But Trey White, he just plays like a senior. He and Melvin Council just play like seniors, right? Yeah. They're guys who are just really good players who have high basketball IQ, and White really got things going last night in the 90-61 win, hitting his first 4 threes.
Yeah, and Trey White has just been on a meteoric rise. And again, we've talked about this, about how I was not super high on Trey White. I likened him to a 4A player in baseball, where he's just not good enough he's too good for AAA, but not good enough for the major leagues. I said the way that I compared it, I said he's not big enough to be a 4, and he's not skilled enough to play a 3. Little did I know, he's good enough to play point guard. Right? I mean, he is so good with the ball on the ground, and, the way that he dribbles, the way that he's able to, find those gaps whenever he's able to drive. And then whenever he needs to shoot a 3, he can hit those threes. Like you said, he started off the game 4 for 4. Just an excellent game overall by Trey White. I mean, he's my player of the game, I guess, if we're giving out awards, right? I mean, he really came up in a big way. And like you said, with Darren Peterson being out, a lot of these guys need to step up, and Trey White, that has certainly been the case with him. And whenever Darren Peterson's out, the ball is in his hands more, and he's able to do more stuff with the ball. Whether that be down low, getting rebounds, getting to the free throw line, shooting threes, getting assists, getting steals, getting in those passing lanes. I think that his defensive upside, that's what when he came in, that's what we were excited about, was the defensive upside. And then now the offense is really starting to click for him. And I think that at this point, he's on like all Big 12 watch, I would say. I think that he's that kind of caliber of player that he could be on that all Big 12 team at the end of the year.
Trey White averaging 14.5 points per game and 7 rebounds as well, 2.3 assists. And if you look, going back to his three-point prowess that he's had, first year at USC, he shot just 26.5% from 3. Then at Louisville, 29.9%. Last year at Illinois, 32.9%. This year, he's shooting 43.2% from 3. Trey White, keep that coming, because that's something that, honestly, before the season, we were like, well, who's going to hit threes for Kansas? And we haven't had to talk about that as much. What's funny is,
we thought it was going to be Jaden Dawson.
We were thinking Jaden Dawson and Kohl Rosario, and they haven't shot it as well. And then Tiller was like, okay, maybe Tiller can be a good step out, hit a 3 type guy, and he has hit one in each of the last couple of games, but he's more of a big man, 6'11", and he's going to spend the majority of his time in the paint. But Trey White has been massive, and it doesn't hurt that Melvin Council, hits 9 threes against NC State and has hit 4 in the 2 games since then as well. Are there going to be ups and downs? Yeah, we understand that. Probably not what either of those two guys does best still, and that's fair to say in terms of their talent as basketball players is shoot the rock, but they've been falling recently. That's been big, and if you get Peterson back, we saw in Louisville in the exhibition that he can shoot it as well. So that hasn't been as big of an issue as we thought it would be, whereas the last couple of years it was, because the last couple of years, if Ryland Griffin wasn't hitting threes, if Nick Timberlake wasn't hitting threes, you didn't have a lot of other options. So that's been really good to see as well. And again, we understand you're not going to hit 11 threes. You're not going to shoot 52%. You're not going to score 90 points every game, but it was nice to see, and a great win for Kansas heading into the holidays. KU finishes the non-conference at 10-3. Very exciting, a picture-perfect night at Fog Allen Fieldhouse. Next up, January 3rd against UCF. That's going to be in Orlando to open up Big 12 play, but we're going to have all sorts of coverage. We're going to have some non-conference individual report cards for each of the KU players as well coming up in the next couple of weeks on Rock Chalk Sports. After this, though, we're going to go to the podium. We're going to hear from Kohl Rosario and Jamari McDowell after the big win. That's next on Rock Chalk Sports, KansasNation.com. Welcome back to Rock Chalk Sports here on KansasNation.com. I'm going to hear from Kohl Rosario and Jamari McDowell. KU over Davidson 90-61 last night. And, we're going to also tell you about Game Day Men's Health Lawrence. Game Day Men's Health Lawrence in West Lawrence. Check them out at GameDayMen'sHealth.com/Lawrence. Mitch Bales and his staff over there, fantastic people. They make you feel at home. They do a lot of different things over there, testosterone replacement therapy, peptides, all sorts of great options. I highly recommend them, and plush man cave setting as well. So you walk in, you feel comfortable, and it was funny. We had Mitch on not too long ago, and Mitch was talking about how a lot of times guys will come in for their testosterone therapy, anything like that, and they will decide to stay because they feel so much at home, and they're like, wow, this is kind of cool. We got TVs in here. We got great, comfortable furniture as well. So seriously, I highly recommend getting out, checking them out. As we get older, we all deal with different things. Need to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves. Got energy for the gym, for your work, for your family, that sort of thing. They can help you at GameDayMen'sHealth.com/Lawrence, or head on over West Lawrence and tell them the guys at Rock Chalk Sports sent you, because we're really happy with that partnership, and certainly want to make sure that we are all taking care of ourselves as we get older. Let's go and hear from Kohl Rosario and Jamari McDowell post-game in the Allen Fieldhouse Media Room. KU wins last night by 29.
What was your guys' mentality heading in this game, knowing you had one more left to play before the break?
Yeah, I'll go first. I'll just say, we didn't want to get out the way, but we're just ready for another opportunity to play. We wanted to finish this first season off good and end with the win and let everyone get in, get some good minutes, and play hard and come out with the W.
Yeah, and Jamari, you've seen some of these games. Sometimes you guys play well all the way through. Sometimes it's a little bit more sluggish in the start of this final game of non-conference. What did you think of the way you guys performed tonight?
There's definitely been times, right before Christmas. I mean, obviously everybody is ready to go home a little bit. And it starts to kind of feel like a job, but it's really not. We had a great time tonight, so we were super excited to get out there and play one last time before the second season, so that was good to see.
Cole, you had a couple three-pointers, and I know it's been kind of tough sledding so far this year. How did that feel? And talk a little bit about getting into that process of getting back on track.
Yeah, I mean, it felt good to see a couple go in. Every time I shoot, I feel like it's going in. So it actually happened this time, so I'm very grateful for that.
Cole, how much can a game like this just give you confidence as you guys get ready to start conference play?
Yeah, obviously it's great momentum for me, but I think it's better for the team too. Obviously, like Marty said, it's our second season is what's most important, and then going to our third season as well. So I think it's good momentum. We can all actually enjoy Christmas right now since we all play good, get out with a win. So we're excited to come back too.
You guys executed pretty well. Just how much has that been a focus from Coach Self and the coaching staff in these last couple of weeks?
That's been a very big focus. I would say a couple of our games, if you watch them, you can tell that we were a little misconstrued on offense. We played defense, but you still got to score the basketball. So execution has been a big target for us in practice. So we hit that right on the nail.
You guys haven't forced a lot of turnovers this year, but you forced 16 tonight. What went into that part of the defensive effort?
I think it's just obviously we haven't forced turnovers in the past, and we changed our defense for this game. We're really excited to again go into this Christmas, and we think our identity today was really in the defense, and that led to offense as well.
And I guess, Jamari, when you see 6 different guys score in double figures, what does that do, I guess, for the team's confidence as a whole, knowing you have so many different options you can go to?
Well, you kind of always know it's there. You just kind of wait till it comes to light. You know, I believe in him. I know he believes in me. So everybody around us just boost each other up, and it was only a matter of time. So that was good to see.
Jamari, what do you think of the 10-3 record before break? Going into the year, you probably thought you'd have Darren, but he only played in 4 games. What do you think of your 10-3 body of work?
Without a healthy DP, I think that's pretty darn good, if you ask me. I think we probably go almost undefeated with him. So it's always exciting to see when he plays. It's going to be even more exciting when he's back. So when he's healthy, we'll be needing him. But until he's back and fully healthy, then we'll continue to play how we are.
How do you feel personally about your first semester? You came in and became a starter and became an integral part.
I'll say I just give myself a B-, maybe a C+. But there's a little more in the tank.
What do you think of him, Kohl?
I think he's great. I give him a little bit higher grade than that, but he's a humble guy. He knows he's good. We all know he's good. We all got great faith in him, and we're all really happy that he stepped up.
For either one of you, since the NC State game, Bill Self talked about how he wants pace of play to be a lot faster, and it seemingly has been. Is that a point of emphasis in practice, just kind of pace in trying to play the game as fast as you can?
Yeah, I think that's what we've been doing. Obviously, Melvin, he's a really fast guy, really fast player, and I think we can find people to keep up with him and go at his pace of play and be really good. But I think we've been doing a good job of that, especially in this game, too.
Anything else? Thanks, guys.
That's Kohl Rosario and Jamari McDowell at the podium post-game. Kohl Rosario, man, he doesn't seem like a freshman.
I know.
He walks in and he, controls the room, right?
He's the
very friendly guy.
He's the most well media trained freshman I think I've ever seen in my life.
He is.
He's personable. He always walks up and talks to guys. By the way, he did tell Shea Wildeber on his Christmas list he wants a Yeti cooler and Costa sunglasses.
Okay.
I think I've heard of that brand before. So
I haven't. Costa with a
COSTA.
Okay. Costa
which, by the way, he said that he's already getting them. So if you're thinking about getting Kohl Rosario a Christmas present, he said that he's already getting that stuff. So maybe get him something else.
Maybe he'll wear him at his next media availability. But,
that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I would be okay with that. He rolls in a Yeti cooler and Costa sunglasses.
He's just a guy who's dripping with potential, and we can see it. And KU fans are smart. They all understand, and they're cheering for him. You hear big roars from the crowd when Rosario hits a 3, and you just know that he is on an ascent. And if he's able to take big steps throughout this freshman season, then that's going to be a welcome sight that at this point, I don't want to say it's unexpected, but if that does happen and he could be a guy who all of a sudden is a big-time contributor in February and March, that's just another element to this team because he has kind of that bouncy wing athleticism that, no disrespect to guys like Jamari or Trey White, who are very good basketball players in their own right, but Rosario it looks a little bit different when he's out there, and that could be huge.
Absolutely, right? I mean, you're seeing the raw athleticism that he has where, I mean, he had a couple of offensive and defensive rebounds yesterday that were just otherworldly. I'm like, how the hell did he get to the rim that quick? And, I think with that athleticism plus time, plus development, I think he's going to be an excellent, excellent basketball player. And, he's got the makings to be an NBA caliber type player. It's just, like I said, it's going to take time. He literally shouldn't be here. Not in a mean way. I'm not saying that to say you shouldn't. No, he should be a senior in high school right now. He reclassed, and he came up to play with the big boys. And, it's going to take a little bit of time, right? He's still developing. He's still growing. He's a growing boy. It's unbelievable to me that he's out there making an impact. Aren't we all? Right? I'm growing this way. But 13 points, like I said, 3 for 7 from the 3. It's really good to see him finally see those shots through the hoop, and I think it's so huge for momentum. I mean, look at what Melvin Council did against NC State, and look what that did for his confidence, right? Not that Melvin Council wasn't a confident person, but he wasn't a confident 3-point shooter until that game, right? I mean, he would shoot them, but he would make them. And then all of a sudden, now he's on a roll. Now the snowball is starting to go down the hill, and once that starts going, it's easier and easier and easier. So I think this is big for him. And look, I think that it's so hard because I don't see him getting back into the starting lineup, especially with Trey White playing so good, because right now you're looking at Kohl Rosario as the 3, and Trey White has just been phenomenal over these last few games that there's just no way that he's going to jump over him. But
Trey White's a starter, but it would only be Tiller, the guy who wasn't starting at the beginning of the year, but Tiller has been solid too.
Yeah, Tiller's been great, and I do want to see more out of Tiller. I think he started off super hot and then has kind of plateaued maybe a little bit, and we're waiting for that next bump up from Tiller. And Tiller, he hit a 3 yesterday. I thought he did great on the glass. He was good down low. I still need to see more from him, but I just don't see them taking Trey and putting him back at the 4 because of his upside in terms of being a guard. But Kohl Rosario with 19 minutes, I love it. I love him there. I think that's going to be excellent. He's going to be such a spark plug coming off the bench, and that's what Kansas is really going to need. Like, there's going to be some games where Kansas, they allow a team to go on a 7-8 point run, and all of a sudden you need some guy to come in and get some rebounds and finish a dunk and hit a big 3, and that's going to be Kohl Rosario.
Well, and Jaden Dawson, according to Coach Self, played well as well. Dawson, a guy that Kansas is going to have a couple games later this year where they need him to come in and hit a couple shots too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, from a roster standpoint, this Kansas coaching staff, particularly Coach Self, did such a great job putting it together because all of a sudden you've got 2 rim protectors. Tiller, he missed a bunch of shots there from 3-point range in a row in a lot of games, but he had 2 blocks and 2 steals last night. But you've got rim protectors and Tiller and Bidunga. Plus, while Tiller is still a little bit raw and learning to guard out on the perimeter as the 4 spot, both he and Bidunga have the athleticism to do that. And again, if you get Darren Peterson back, then there's your X factor. There's your X factor. There's your all-world talent where he's going to be on the ball the majority. Nobody has more bounce, more athleticism than him. And then Rosario, kind of a bench piece who's got that athleticism and bounce from a wing standpoint. Plus, Melvin Council, we've seen how good he can be on the ball as a point, give DP a little bit of a breather in terms of being on the ball. And certainly Council, he rebounds well for a guard, and he's got a great assist-to-turnover ratio. He's got good size, and how quick twitch is he? I mean, when he crossed that dude over in the first half, that was impressive as well.
We had a couple of really amazing moves, right? The one in transition where he crossed and went, and then the other one where he got a rebound, took it over to the corner,
had
and
a
then
baseline up and under.
Switched back and right on. Oh my gosh, that was beautiful.
Then you got a program guy who's a great ball mover and does a lot of things, and Jamari McDowell, and Trey White, obviously a fantastic college player who's having the best season of his career. A lot going well right now for KU basketball. You get Peterson back, and this is a top 10 team, no doubt. And Kansas may be in the top 15
this is Final Four team
before the January 3rd Big 12 opener against UCF. We'll have to wait and see how things shake out. Not as many games, of course, over the holidays, and Kansas has as long of a break as anybody, interestingly enough, before they take the court in Orlando. After this, we're talking a little KU women's basketball. They had a really, really good outing, down a couple players up in Ames. They lost a heartbreaker at the buzzer. We'll break that down after this, and stick around a little bit later in the show. We're going to have Bill Self at the podium postgame, plus Dan's going to have a Top 10 Tuesday, the worst things that you could possibly get for Christmas, right?
Well, top 10 things I don't want for Christmas.
All right, top 10 things he doesn't want. Well, close enough. The worst things would probably be a little bit worse. Nobody wants to unwrap like a grizzly bear or something
well, I
like
guess
that.
it's top 10 things that you don't want for Christmas. So it's pretty generic.
Okay.
So yeah, worst things for Christmas.
So I'll disagree with a few things. That sounds pretty standard. That's all coming up next on Rock Chalk Sports, KansasNation.com. Hey, make sure you follow us on socials at the Kansas Nation, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, all of them. Apple Podcasts, Spotify.
We're on MySpace, LinkedIn.
Zanga.
Yeah.
Zanga with an X.
Club Penguin.
Yes.
We'll be on there. Yeah. Webkins.
Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Give us a subscription. Dan does great work updating all of our socials and kansasnation.com as well. You're going to find all press conferences on there. You're going to find replays of our shows. You're going to have video feed, audio feed, whatever you need. And, the likes, the subscriptions, all of that really matters. So appreciate everything you can do on that front to help us out.
Yeah.
And Kansas women's basketball, man, what a heartbreaker that they had in Ames, falling at the buzzer. Number 10, Iowa State. KU loses 79-76 at Hilton Coliseum. It was tied 76 all. Iowa State's Mackenzie Hare, who's a starting guard, hits a corner three literally as time expires to help Iowa State survive. Kansas got a monster performance
Her
from
only
Samaya
3 points
Nichols.
of the game, by
That's
the
what's
way.
crazy. Only took 2 shots, and one of them was the game-winning three.
She played 33 minutes.
Samaya
34.
Nichols, 29 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. And then Libby Fandel, a career-high 18 points, playing in her home state. Of course, she was a Gatorade Iowa Player of the Year, was Fandel. She hit 4 threes in this one. Keely Parks had 9 points. Elle Evans had 8. We were hoping to have David Lawrence on. He's not able to make it to talk Kansas women's basketball. We'll have him on a little bit later as he does color analyst for KU home games alongside Stephen Davis. Iowa State still unbeaten. They're 13-0, 1-0 now in Big 12 play. KU 0-1 in Big 12 play. New Year's Day, they're going to host West Virginia, but that's you don't want to say moral victory, but pretty impressive. KU takes number 10 Iowa State to the brink, and hopefully next time in a similar situation it goes KU's way.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks, right? And that's the old hypothetical of would you rather lose a game by 20 or would you rather lose it by a buzzer beater? And I'm typically on the side of losing by 20, but losing a game in Ames, Iowa against a top 10 team, against the nation's best scorer,
and you didn't have
by
Julia Davis.
A buzzer beater without 2 of your power forwards, right?
Reagan
You're
Williams.
down Reagan and you're down Julia. I mean, that is a quality loss, and I hate using that term. Quality win, quality loss, right? Is it a good win, a good loss, a bad win, whatever? This is a quality loss. I think that Kansas came out and they played tremendously. Libby Fandel had an excellent game with 18 points, 4 for 9 from the three-point line. Samaya Nichols obviously was just being Samaya, got to the free throw line. She shot 12 free throws, went 10 for 12. She had 29 points in this game, just shy of 30. She also had 7 assists in this game as well. So, I mean, obviously Samaya, we knew that she was the best player. But Kansas's whole game plan coming into this was let Audie cook. Let Audie Crooks.
Let Audie Crooks cook.
Let Crooks cook.
Well, she did.
And she did, right? Let her get 41 points. Guess what? 2s are worth less than 3s. And that was basically the whole thing. It's like, all right, let Lily, get beat up down low and Lily could potentially do really well. And I thought that she did well at times against Audie Crooks. It's just she's just such a beast down low, and she's so good at getting to the rim and finishing around the rim. But at the same time, Kansas' whole game plan was let them feed out Audie Crooks, guard the perimeter, which they did exceptionally well, right? They went 2 for 8 from the three-point line. That's how Iowa State beats teams, is that they go and double, triple team Audie Crooks, and then they kick it out, and then they beat you with threes. That's basically how they like to win games. Whenever you have a game plan for Audie, Kansas went the opposite way. They said let Audie score. That's fine, but don't allow them to hit threes. And then Kansas has to come out and hit threes, and they certainly did. They went 12 for 21 from the 3-point line. An excellent shooting performance by everyone all around. Keely went 3 for 3. Right, we saw Samaya go 3 for 3. Laya Canessa went 2 for 3.
Incredible.
Elle Evans, unfortunately, didn't hit a three-pointer. In this game, that's really her forte, is being that stretch guard who can hit threes. She didn't hit any, but 12 threes in this game. It kept Kansas in it, and it just proved that to not be enough. Kansas was really there towards the end, right? Iowa State, I think they got up by 10 at one point.
Iowa
really
State
late.
was up 11 on 3 different occasions, including 70-59. KU goes on a 10-0 run to cut it to 1. Baskets from Nadira El-Tayeb and Fandel, and then threes from Canessa and Nichols. And Kansas stayed close. They tied it at 76 all, with Samaya being, the queen that she is, scoring 2 over 29 to tie it at 76. just incredible efficiency from her with the 7 assists, the 5 rebounds,
Yeah.
and 8 of 15 from the field, hits all 3 of her threes. You mentioned Parks hits all 3 of her threes. What a great player she already is. In just 18 minutes, she has 9 points. And then Laia Canessa, again, very efficient, 6 points on 2 threes, 6 rebounds. But, of course, after the game-tying basket from Nichols and Kansas having that big run, it was the Cyclones getting an open look from Hare, who, again, scored her only 3 points of the game. But, again, you don't have Jalea Davis. You wonder what would have happened if Kansas did. And I think you brought up a great point about the game plan for Coach Brandon and the KU coaching staff is Audie's going to get those twos, and she had 19 of them. She had 19 twos, went 3 of 4 from the line. Iowa State shoots 55%, KU 49%, but Iowa State hits just 2 threes. They're 2 of 8, 25%. KU 12 of 21, 57%. The great equalizer, they've always called it, and Kansas hit the shots when they needed to. It was a back-and-forth game, and ultimately Iowa State hits 4 of their last 5 field goals, including that game winner. No Jalea Davis, no Reagan Williams. I think the hope is that Jalea will be back on New Year's Day against West Virginia. But
Reagan
again,
has a little bit longer of a time frame.
Yep,
She's gonna be out.
this kind of speaks volumes to what we talked about. Despite there only being 12 women on this Kansas women's basketball team total, the depth is there.
Yeah.
And it's not surprising to see players like Canessa and Fandel, who, again, shout out to her for having her best game as a Jayhawk in her home state. Those players can slide in. They can play bulk minutes when they need to. And again, the roster is just so much more talented than it has been the past couple of years.
That's kind of the beautiful thing about it, right? I mean, you look down this program and you see a ton of girls who are going to be returning, not only returning, but are super young as well, right? Like I said, Keeley went 3 for 3 from the three-point line. She finished with 9 points. Libby had 18 points. You have Jalea, who's the best out of all of them, which is such a high bar already, who didn't play in this game. So Maya still has another year, right? Elle, I believe, is a senior this year, but you know you're going to be getting Brittany back, I think, next year. Just there's a lot of girls on this squad who are going to be coming back to Kansas, and it's setting them up for success in the future. And it's kind of tricky the way to look at it because, like I said, it's a quality loss, but also losing a game isn't going to get you ranked. So Kansas needs to step it up, and I think that they certainly have, and I think that they've done an excellent job in terms of the chemistry that these girls have together, the offensive efficiency that they're putting out, the defensive efficiency that they're putting out. I think Lily Meister has done a fantastic job all year long, and she's really grown as a basketball player and as a big. And I think she's never going to play somebody like Audie Crooks again, right? So obviously, it stinks. You give up 41 points to somebody. You don't love that. But at the same time, you know, it's a good experience for her. And I think that she's going to continue to get better and continue to be really good on the defensive side of the ball. Lily Meister, she finished this game with only 4 points, but she'd have 5 rebounds. The most impressive thing, I think, is that Kansas is only -3 in the rebounding. You know, obviously, Audie Crooks pulls down a ton.
Yeah,
of
preseason Big 12 Player of the Year. If we haven't mentioned
Addie
that yet.
Brown also pulls down a ton of rebounds, but Audie Crooks only had 4 rebounds in this game. Addie Brown had 8, right? She was the leading rebounder for that Iowa State squad. So Kansas does a really good job just all around, and I think that people are noticing, right? Before the year, there was one AP voter who voted for Kansas. I think they were right at 25. Because she could see the potential. She saw the talented freshmen. She saw Samaya Nichols. She saw the talent that, you know, Reagan Williams and Elle Evans have. She saw the raw potential of what could be a really good team, and I think it's continuing, right? Kansas is 10-3. They had a couple of weird losses kind of in the non-con, but that was to be expected, especially when you have a lot of new pieces on a team. And then to go to Ames and lose by 3 on a buzzer beater against the nation's top scorer, a top 10 team, is really going to get some eyeballs on you, and I think people are starting to notice that Kansas women's basketball is you know, a premier program.
Yeah, and it all starts with Samaya Nichols because she's like the go-to player with 29, 5, and 7.
Yeah.
And Elle Evans, you know, you expected more contributions from her, but you're not going to really bag on her when other people took the shots and made the shots. It was Keely Parks going 3 of 3 and Laia Canessa going 2 of 3 from three-point range. You didn't necessarily need as much from Elle Evans. Kate, you score 76, but Iowa State just one shot better on this particular day. Iowa State picked preseason second in the Big 12 in the 16-team conference. Kansas, for what it's worth, was picked 7th in the preseason. Of course, this is a couple months ago, so it's a little dated, but just to kind of give you an outlook on what's coming up for KU, I mentioned West Virginia is the home Big 12 opener on New Year's Day. That's going to be at noon. And West Virginia picked 5th in the preseason. And then KU gets a UCF team who was picked 15th in the conference. And then Utah, another team who's picked below Kansas. UCF is on the road. Utah is at home. You like Kansas' chances in both of those games, again, particularly if you have Davis and or Williams back. But West Virginia will be a challenge on New Year's Day. And Kansas, again, pretty solid, just like the Kansas men, 10-3 so far to this point of the season. They were able to sneak in one conference game, and perhaps the most difficult. There are some really good teams. TCU was picked as the preseason Big 12 favorite. Kansas is going to have to face them at some point this season, but still 10-3, solid start. Get everybody healthy, and KU is going to be in a good spot. After this, we're going to be on ESPN Kansas City, and again, make sure you follow us on socials. On tomorrow's show, we are going to have our KU mailbag segment. We're also going to have Henry Greenstein, KUSports.com, and the Lawrence Journal World to break down all things men's and women's basketball, talk a little KU volleyball with Greeny as well. So a lot coming up in terms of KU coverage, as always, on Rock Chalk Sports. After this, we're going to hear from Bill Self, KU men's basketball coach, post-game the victory over Davidson last night. You're watching Rock Chalk Sports on KansasNation.com. Bill Self pretty pleased last night after the Jayhawks knocked off the Davidson Wildcats 90-61. And before we get to Bill Self, we want to shout out Crown Automotive.
Yes, Crown Automotive.
Miles Schneier.
A ton of new cars, if you're looking at new cars from Toyotas to Volkswagens. 2 of the best cars you can buy, right, in terms of mileage, in terms of safety. Just fantastic cars all around. I'm looking for a new car right now, and I'm going to start looking right at Crown Automotive. They also have a number of different used cars as well. So whatever you need to fit your lifestyle, they will make sure to get you in the car that you deserve. So check out Crown Automotive at crownautomotive.com. Friendly service, and go ahead and get that significant other or somebody in your life a brand new car for this Christmas.
Yeah, appreciate their partnership.
Put a big red bow on it too. I always love those commercials.
South Iowa in Lawrence, and crownautomotive.com. Let's hear from the two-time national champion Coach Self, 90-61 KU over Davidson.
You guys want to talk about
At some point.
let's talk about relationships.
Bill, this has obviously been a spot where teams don't always, I guess, wake up for it, but you guys seem to. What'd you make of the performance overall?
I thought this is the best we looked. Don't you guys think offensively, ball moved and played with pace? I thought we did some good things. Guarded fairly well and rebounded well the first half. Not as well late, but I thought we looked pretty good. I thought Trey was obviously got us off to a great start. Melvin's just, he's finding himself. Seemed like every game is getting better. So, but I thought everybody played well and contributed, and it was a good way to end the first season.
The bench struggled a little bit against Towson, and then Kohl kind of rises to the occasion. What do you think of his performance tonight?
I thought he got off a lot of shots per minute. I actually thought it was great. Just he needs to see the ball go in the basket. He did, and that was good. And made a couple of athletic plays, so that was fun to see. I also thought Jaden Dawson played well, so that was good to see.
And then how would you evaluate the non-conference as a whole, 10-3?
If you look at record, before the season started, I would say probably a B-. If you look at it that we played it without DP, I'd say probably a B+. I think the guys got better. Carolina would be a hard game regardless, but losing to Duke and Connecticut win, I think that I'm not saying we would have won, but I think having a full complement of players, I think could have been a different situation. But guys are learning to play through it, and hopefully we'll be better for it.
When a lot of times when we walk out, Cole's still out there shooting, and he comes early. A lot of times, I just wondered if his work ethic is different, or do all these guys do that?
No, not everybody works like Kohl. Cole's in the gym too much. He needs to go be a kid. He just is in the gym all the time. to the point where it's, probably too much. But that's what he loves to do, and you can't keep him out of here. But he works hard, and he's got the best attitude, as everybody can see. Tries so hard, and he hadn't had many things go right for him first semester. So it was good to. He's a good player, and it was good to see that ball go down a few times tonight.
Both teams hit 11 threes. What do you think of the defense and the offense? You've already commented on the offense. But.
Yeah, I thought our defense wasn't bad. How many did they make late? They probably made, 4 or 5 in the last, 5 or 6 minutes or something like that. So to me, those don't count quite as much when the score's the way it was. But I thought we did a pretty good job. We're switching so much, and bigs aren't used to guarding 3-point shooters, but for the most part, they did fine.
How do you approach Christmas break now with Darren and everybody? Does he go try to solve this on his own, or what's the status of Darren entering break?
Same as it was yesterday or this morning. I think he's doing well. They're going to make a decision. That they made a decision, which I don't disagree with it at all. That they want him to be, as close to 100% as possible when he comes back. And he's just not quite there yet, but it's a day-to-day deal. He will be. So I wish he could have played tonight, but fact of the matter, the guys got some run and they did well. So hopefully, we'll give some other guys some opportunities. Will hopefully make us, deeper as we get into conference play.
Just to clarify, who'd you mean by they when you said they made the decision about Darren?
Oh, his family.
Okay.
Yeah, his family. The thing about it is, we talked about this. We're in agreement with the family that he should not play until he feels good. We're in agreement. But I'm not. I'm not inside his head or his body that I can determine if he feels good enough or not. That's up to him. But he wants to be out there. He's just not quite ready.
And then what'd you make of forcing 16 turnovers tonight when you haven't been forcing too many?
No, we haven't been forcing any. But I did think our hands were more active, and we got our hands on more basketballs tonight, and which led to some transition deals. So you look at forcing 16 turnovers, but even a bigger stat to me would be having 13 steals out of 16 turnovers, because we're only averaging about 5 steals a game. So that was good.
And then one more specific thing, it felt like at the beginning of the game, you left both of the big men in with the first substitution, and then it ended up working out well because after the first timeout they each score, and then Davidson had to call timeout. I was just wondering maybe what made you decide to leave them both in and switch Jamari for Marco, because it seemed to work pretty well.
I have no rhyme or reason for any of that, but since it worked, it was just well thought out. So,
were you worried about the backdoor cuts going in the game, and you took it away completely?
They got actually 2 to start the game, and one was a basket, the other one should have been. I was more worried about defending the arc and taking away the 3 and guarding their slips. And the slips are basically what led to the backdoors. But we did an average job to above average job with them.
How confident are you that this will be a very successful Big 12 season, looking at all the teams and where you
define success? I think we'll get better. I think we'll have a good year. I think that we drew the number 1 and number 3 ranked team in the country. We drew them twice, so it's a hard schedule no matter what. So. And the other team that we played twice is K-State, and they handled us the last 3 times I think that we played over there. It's a hard schedule. But the thing about it is, I've always thought, the years that we won the league, if you're good enough to win the Big 12, you're one of the best teams in the country. If you're good enough to finish in the top 4 or 5 in the Big 12 now, you're one of the best teams in the country. There's a good chance a team that could finish 4th in our league could win a national championship and certainly make a Final Four. So it's a hard path, but it'll be good for everybody. Should be fun for the fans too.
Last one, Kansas City Chiefs today had a big announcement. Were you surprised, and what's your take on the move to Kansas?
Well, I'm not politically connected at all, but I think it's awesome, and to get them here. I also think it's pretty amazing, and I'm not politically connected, nor do I have a real opinion about it at all. But it seems like in the last 4 or 5 years, there's been a lot of good things happen to Kansas, and a lot. With businesses moving here and all this stuff, and I think that's a credit to our leadership, obviously, the governor. So I think it's fantastic. I'm excited about it, which I think all Kansas should be excited about it. I'm sure there's people across the state line that probably don't feel that same sentiment, but it should. I won't be coaching here, so I won't benefit from it. But the bottom line is what is it going to be like 6 years from now? So the bottom line is it's great for the state, though. I would think it's great.
All right, Coach, thank you.
That's Bill Self. It'll be a holly jolly Christmas for KU basketball as they close out a victory over Davidson, 90-61. Coach Self, by the way, he's got a birthday coming up. He never talks about it, but it's coming up.
Is it the
here in a few
26th?
days? 27th, if I'm not
7th,
mistaken.
that's
Same
right.
day as Mark Few. Exact same day.
That's right. Oh, that's
They were
right.
born the
I
exact same
forgot.
day.
Yeah, they're the exact same day.
crazy.
They're exact same age.
Totally.
Man, what are the
That's
odds?
crazy. All right, coming up after this, we are going to do a top 10 draft. Well, sorry, not a top 10 draft. A top 10 list, courtesy of Dan Courtwright, of things that you do not want for Christmas. And then on tomorrow's show, we will have a show Christmas Eve. We're going to do a little fantasy draft, a more positive outlook on Christmas. But
Yes.
top 10 segment, things you don't want. Coming up next here on Rock Chalk Sports, KansasNation.com, and ESPN Kansas City. Welcome back to Rock Chalk Sports. Make sure you're tuned in tomorrow. If you need to get away from your family, head on over to KansasNation.com.
That's right.
4 to 6, as usual, we're going to be on for a special edition of Rock Chalk Sports. It's going to be mostly sports, but we're going to filter in some Christmas stuff as well, and perhaps we'll have a funny hat or two. I don't know. You think that might happen?
I'm a big funny hat guy. You know this.
I am. I appreciate the sweaters and the hats.
You know what? Even Elijah's going to have a funny hat.
Yeah, you
a
don't
funny
get to see
headpiece.
you don't get to see Elijah a lot, but
No.
he does a great job running the operations. Before we get into Dan's top 10 list of things that you do not want for Christmas, want to shout out Game Day Men's Health Lawrence sponsoring the show today and every day. Mitch Bales and everybody over there. They do great work, honestly. If you are a man who, no matter your age, you're struggling with being tired all the time, a lack of energy, lack of motivation, lack of sex drive, or have a tough time keeping the weight off, they can help you over at Game Day Men's Health Lawrence. It's here in town. They have testosterone replacement therapy, ED help. They can give you anything. Bottom line is 50% of men are going to have low T by the time that we are 40, and 60% of all men will struggle with ED at some point in their lives. It's okay to talk about it. It's okay to talk to somebody and try to get help. Honestly, you want to feel your best, and certainly you want to be there for your family. You want to be able to have energy to go to the gym. You want to be able to perform your best at work. All of that. Full-fledged medical clinic over on Wakarusa. Game Day Men's Health Lawrence. Appreciate their partnership. Go over there. Tell them the guys at Rock Chalk Sports sent you, because we appreciate that. And again,
Just poke
it's
your
worth
head
it.
in.
It's worth it.
It's
Yeah.
a cool place.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's similar to our digs here at Kansas Nation. We feel pretty good about the flat screen TVs and the great spot here. But Game Day, they take care of you. And again, everything is under the table. You make sure that you are taken care of, and everything is very private. But your first visit as well is complimentary.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
It's amazing.
So
Yeah,
get
no,
out
they'll-
there and check it out and see what works best for you.
Yeah, they'll go. They'll draw your blood. They'll let you know, like, if everything's working, or if you're good to go, or if you potentially need something to improve upon your health. And like you said, that first one's free. So it's a really, really, really cool place.
Well,
Shout out to Mitch Bales.
life is short, so you want to make sure that you have the best life possible. Take care of yourself, and for your well-being, get on over there and yeah, revitalize yourself. You need to get the spark back in your relationship. You need your health to be taken to much higher heights. You need your testosterone to be higher as well. Whatever you think you might need, whatever questions you need answered, honestly, go over there because you might not know, as many of us have experienced. We kind of avoid that, don't really want to go and see what's potentially wrong. It's a very comfortable setting, and they can help you out and get some questions answered. And honestly, the ease of mind is as good as anything. So again, Game Day Men's Health Lawrence is the place to be. All right, Dan, let's get into this top 10 list. Excited to break back into the top 10s. And in honor of Christmas season, you're saying things that you do not want for Christmas.
It's the season of giving. I'm doing my top 10 things that you don't want for Christmas as a Christmas present. I feel good about this one. I've been thinking about this for a while. Let's just kick it off, man. Let's just start off with number 10. Number 10 on my top 10 things that I do not want for Christmas, or that you don't want for Christmas. Should I just change it to worst things to get for Christmas?
Top 10 things you don't want for Christmas.
Top 10 things you don't want for Christmas. Yeah. Number 10, a chocolate box, but inside their socks. The old switcheroo.
Oh,
this has happened before to me.
I've had that with a beer can before.
Beer can?
I don't need more socks, man.
Sure. See, same. I have so many socks.
Socks that I don't even want to wear.
Yeah, I have a lot of socks. I have a ridiculous amount of socks.
Yeah.
Like, I know as you get older, like, people are like, oh, socks are fun. Like, I love getting socks as a Christmas present. I have too many socks. If I need socks, I'll go buy socks. That's fine.
You know what you do need, though? Chocolates.
I would love chocolates. And this has happened to me before, where, you know, you there's an old box of chocolates that you got for Valentine's Day, you know, whatever it was, 11 months ago. And it's just been sitting around your house, and it's the perfect size to fit a couple of pairs of socks in. And they wrap it up all nice. You open it up, you go, oh my gosh, Russell Stover. And then you open it up, socks.
Yeah.
Just like the old switcheroo. It's not that I don't appreciate socks. It's the fact that I was deceived. I was bamboozled, hoodwinked, if you will.
So I don't know if you are like this, but I am pretty boring when it comes to my socks. And I know this is really hard-hitting conversation right now. But, like, I just want normal Adidas sweat socks that are comfortable. And
so you don't like the fun patterns?
I don't necessarily like the fun patterns.
Sure.
I have a lot of, like, KU socks that I will break out occasionally, as long as, you know, like if I'm going to go for a run or something, you want decent socks. And as long as they're on that front, good, then that's good. But man, I have like even dress socks I'll wear sometimes to the KU games, or, you know, we're going somewhere fancy and I'll wear some dress socks, and I have some pairs of that. But I also have like 37 pairs that I never wear. Right. But I mean, I'm not going to give them to do I give them to Goodwill? I mean, it's kind of weird, right?
It's gross.
I know.
Don't give your socks to go. It's like giving underwear.
I would have to wash them first.
Well, sure.
Have you ever washed your socks?
Yeah.
No.
You don't wash your socks?
No, I'm just saying, yeah, there's too many socks. So I've got like my main drawer of socks that I actually wear, and then I've got, 39 like holiday
Right. No, I'm the exact same way.
Yeah.
I actually I got a bunch of hand-me-down socks from my fiance's father because he's retired now and he doesn't need to wear. Yes, Keith. Shout out to KJ.
So is that not weird?
It was a little. I mean, a lot of them were unused, which is nice. But also, I just don't wear them because they're like nice dress socks, and I'm wearing sweatpants right now.
Yeah,
like I'm not. Well, I'm not wearing.
I do hate dress socks.
Well, and they don't. They're
so thin
and they
not
feel
comfortable.
weird. Yeah, it's like no. I'm with you. Like the Adidas or like the.
Yeah, I'm gonna trademark that right now. I'm gonna make comfortable Gesundheit on air, live on air. Dan Courtwright
radio
sneezing. Yeah, I don't know.
Sock smell.
I'm with you though. I think that I want to trademark that. I want to come up with my own sweat socks that look like dress socks. I mean, I think people have tried, but
yeah, I mean, I'm sure they have. Like, I know, like, I actually bought some socks for somebody this year because they wanted them, and they were Bombas, and they were $16 a pair, and that's the cheapest ones they have.
Yeah.
There was another one. There was another one. There was like $22 for a pair of socks. One pair of socks. I was like, are you kidding me? This is what you want for Christmas?
Yeah,
that's insane. I've never
I
worn
get
Bombas
it. I get
socks.
it. Like if girls want like fuzzy socks or something, like super, but I don't need them.
Yeah. Well, and then
it's a stocking stuffer. I get that. And that's fine.
Just to kick you while you're down, they throw it in a box in an empty box of chocolates.
Right.
That's
or an empty beer can.
It's the deception. that gets me, and that makes me think that you're a bad friend.
Yeah.
You're trying to trick me, and I think I'm getting candy and I'm getting clothing. What?
All right, so
What's
you
your deal?
don't want socks masquerading.
Socks are fine.
Masquerading as something else.
Just yes, right.
Okay.
The
All right.
put it in a box that is clearly labeled socks, and then I'll be write it with Sharpie or something.
All right, what's number 9?
Number 9 on my top 10 things that you don't want for Christmas: a diet cookbook. Because what does that tell you?
That's like a gym membership. Do you have that
Yeah,
on here?
I do.
You do.
You're-
Gym membership
you're
is
jumping
coming
the
up.
shark,
Well,
but-
because my understanding is that your fiance got you a gym membership.
She did. That's actually what inspired this.
Yes, the entire top 10.
It's on here for sure. But a diet cookbook is so funny because they're like, oh hey, it's
I
kinda,
know you've been really trying to watch.
so,
yeah.
but it's kind of doubling down. It's like, hey, you're a bad cook and you're fat.
Oh man.
You know, it's like your cooking sucks, so you need a cookbook, and then here's some healthy options because you're gaining a couple of pounds. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, what the hell?
like, come
What did
on.
I do to you? You know what I mean? A diet cookbook is that's just.
Although I've
you
never
know?
actually heard the phrase diet cookbook.
You've never seen like those like.
I mean,
oh,
yeah,
like-
I've seen
like
cookbooks, but
100
do people actually call them diet?
No, that's like a generic. Like there's like some that are like 100 healthy meals for you and your
Diet
family or
cookbook.
whatever. Like, you know, it's
5 ingredient healthy cookbook. Yeah, carb smart, that sort
Yeah.
of thing. Man, one thing I would never be able to do is, like, I could count calories if I needed to,
sure.
and certainly sometimes that's
while
a
they're-
good idea, but cutting out carbs, I just don't think I'd be able to do it.
No, you ever had carbless the
keto?
the alcohol?
Oh my God, no.
0 carbs.
Is it terrible?
It's so good and it's dangerous.
It's good?
It's really good.
What's it called?
Carbless. Carbliss. Free plug, by the way.
I just don't think. I mean, bread. I want the bread, and that's
Yeah.
the thing. It's like I talk about. Like sometimes I prefer a burger over a steak because I just want the bread.
Same. No. I'm with you. Cutting out carbs would be horrible. Also, when's the last time? I mean, I don't know. When's the last time
Carbless.
you ever read a cookbook?
Man, Carbliss, you can get a 4-pack for $10 at Walmart.
Anytime, like at our house.
I know. I wish I would more because the
Same.
phone is so annoying. Because then you have to jump to recipe.
Yeah, that's the
And
thing.
then- it's
Anytime, like we'll see a recipe on social media and then we'll make it. We probably have 5 or 6 cookbooks in our house untouched.
yeah.
There is not
Oh,
a fold
totally,
on
us
any of
too.
those pages, and they're great in theory. Like we've gotten cookbooks before. Like we have like one that's like Seinfeld themed, where you have like soup or whatever in there, and in theory it's great. But I've never looked in it, and neither's my fiance, and it's just sitting on our kitchen countertop,
Yeah.
just collecting dust in the way, really.
As long as the
So there's
cookbook, I
three.
honestly
That's 3
think,
issues with it. Is A, you're calling me a bad cook. B, you're calling me fat. And C, I'm not gonna read it.
The other thing with the cookbooks is you have to have them laid out, right? Or
Yeah.
put on a little thing to where the pages don't automatically close.
Mm-hmm.
Gravity. You know how
Yeah.
the gravity will like make it like you have to like put a paperweight on both sides so it
Yes.
stays open. Plus,
feel ya.
plus you have to cook your food on a different part of the counter so that it
it
doesn't
takes
make it so messy.
Like, yeah, you need a lot of counter space.
But
if
the
you
the
wanna
phone thing is
use a
more
cook-
annoying though.
It-
I need to get back
yeah,
into
it's like my grandmother made this recipe in
Absolutely.
1929. Don't care. Don't care.
Where is the recipe? I
Add-
just bought all
don't
this
care.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's horrible. No, I agree.
All right, I got that down. What's number 8? Number 8.
Number 8 on the top 10 things you don't want for Christmas: lingerie.
Really?
So I did some thinking about this. I don't want lingerie,
Okay.
and also it's kind of weird. That also could be a little. I guess it depends on the relationship that you have.
I think
you
I
don't
think
wanna
I know
gi-
what you're trying to say.
You don't want to give it. So a couple of different scenarios where you don't want to get lingerie. Number 1, at a Christmas family function.
Totally.
Family function with children running around, you don't want lingerie there. And then B, it's like, oh, is what I'm doing not good enough? You know what I mean? Like you need to spice it up.
It definitely does depend on the relationship.
There's a little bit of a dig,
Yeah.
right? To be like, oh, whatever. I don't know. It's just that one feels a little strange to me. Save that for Valentine's Day, right?
Okay.
I
where
don't
it's
want to
a
see
little bit more romance oriented. Yeah,
Yeah.
you get that on Christmas, and it almost feels forced.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. And I don't know.
It could be, and pardon me for using this word on air, but tacky.
Ooh.
Could be a little bit tacky.
Tacky's a good word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tacky.
Christmas is just about, so much more. Valentine's Day, sure.
Sure.
Like
that's
maybe,
perfect Valentine's Day gift.
arguably even an
But
expectation.
Keep the lingerie in the box until February. You know what I mean? I think lingerie tacky is probably the right word. I think it is a little tacky. And also like I said, I don't want lingerie. I mean, I'm not gonna wear it.
That's good to know.
I mean, I'll try it on.
That's good to know. I guess I'll go return your gift.
Right. Yeah. Is that something that you can re-gift?
I think you can re-gift it as
long
long
as
you
it's
don't
not
wear
worn.
it. Yeah, same deal with
It'd be
the
kinda gross,
with socks,
right?
And
Yeah, just lingerie is not a good one. Just not it's not a great gift to give on Christmas. Number 7 on the top 10 things you don't want for Christmas: household cleaning items. Because I'm not saying it's the thought is there, but it could be misconstrued.
You're thinking another misconstrued situation.
It could be misconstrued as your house is messy.
Yeah.
And that's not like, oh, hey, here's some Windex and a mop.
Who's the
What? What?
Windex? Shout out to Chad Boger.
Shout out.
Big fan.
Big fan of Windex.
Big fan of Windex.
Yeah.
Here.
But that's one of those ones where you're like why are you like, okay, like is my house dusty?
It
Like, why are you getting me a duster?
It would be an awkward thing to get.
Little bit,
Yeah.
right? Unless you ask for it.
Are you the cleaner at your house? I forget. I feel like
not.
no. I feel like you said you and Piper have some sort of deal where she does all the cleaning or something.
Yeah, she does all the
what
cleaning.
What do you do?
And I give her my unconditional love and attention.
There's some other. No, I thought there was some sort of.
I'll do the laundry.
agreement.
I'm the laundry guy.
Laundry, that's what it is.
Yeah, I'm
you
the
do
laundry
laundry
guy.
and she does everything else.
She does a lot of the cleaning, and then she'll tell me to do the cleaning. But yeah, no, I think household cleaning items could be misconstrued as like, hey, clean your house, you slob.
Yeah, you're slobby.
Yeah, it's like, okay. Sure. Also, like, I want something more fun.
Well,
I
it'd
don't want
be
something
a terrible gift.
I don't want something to help me with chores.
Talk about being awkward when you're opening a gift. That would be terrible.
Yeah.
I
broom
needed this.
and dustpan.
Needed this.
Thanks.
Shout out to Libman's mops, brooms, and brushes, by the way.
Libman. Yeah, dude, they're big sponsors of all things college basketball.
They are. It
Shout
sure
out.
seems like it.
But yeah, if you get that, like, it's weird because, like, unless you ask for it, I'm sure there's some people.
Yeah, and I guess that would be a understood thing for any of these.
But I'm not gonna ask for it.
If you ask for socks masquerading as chocolates,
right?
Then,
Hey, Dad, give me lingerie. You know, like,
absolutely.
Sure, fine, I guess if you ask for it.
Right.
But it's just I don't know. Household cleaning items can just be. That's one of those ones where it could be misconstrued as a dig.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Right.
What are you trying to say?
All
Trying
right.
to say my house is messy. Number 6 on my top 10 things you don't want for Christmas: tickets to a K-State basketball game.
Yeah.
It's bad. PJ Haggerty's kind of fun.
Man, they do not play defense.
No. God, no.
God.
They've lost to Bowling Green. They lost to who
Yeah,
else?
they
Seton Hall.
had 4 straight.
Yeah.
But what if K-State? What if it's K-State KU?
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Like, but do you want to go to the Octagon of Room? Do you want to drive all the way out to Manhattan?
Octagon of
Room. Yeah. Do you want to drive all the way out to Manhattan, though?
No, especially not if they're taking on Bowling Green, although they did lose by 16. That would have been funny. Mississippi Valley State, South Dakota. They've got Louisiana Monroe on Sunday. Do you see, by the way, who they have their first couple games of Big 12 play? They got BYU in the Little Apple and then at Arizona.
Oh, my God.
Then at Arizona
Heartbreaker.
State, loss.
Do you think Tang's done after this year? Do you think the boosters have had enough of him?
I think they probably have. I mean, they lost 4 straight games to Nebraska ball, who's pretty good, Indiana, who is good, Bowling Green, who's not good, and Seton Hall, who's mid.
Right, but also, like, looking at K-State, like, they spend a lot of money on guys. I talked about this in my Thanksgiving.
They love to totally unload a bag on 1 or 2 guys.
Yeah, and then they don't do anything. Coleman Hawkins, a $2
Haggerty's
million
scoring
man.
at least. He can score.
Doug McDaniel wasn't good. Haggerty's fine. He's terrible pieces around him. There's a big man. I can't remember his name. Yeah, it's just not fun. And plus, like, yeah, you give me tickets to, like, the K-State Louisiana Monroe game when all the students are gone and nobody's going to show.
Oh,
Like,
what a terrible way to spend a day.
Over under 4,000 fans total.
It's bad.
That's a good line, right?
That's probably a good line, yeah. That's probably a good line.
That's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough. Don't get me tickets to a K-State basketball game. I'll tell you that. Now, granted, it'll be a cheap gift. You probably get those tickets for what, $4, maybe?
So if you want somebody to save some money on your
Yeah,
gift.
buy a hot dog for more than that. Number 5, my top 10 things you don't want for Christmas: a high maintenance plant. This has been a thing.
I don't want a plant in general, but my wife would love a plant.
So your wife, is she a big plant person?
She is.
Do you take care of the plants at all?
I do not. I forget that they're there.
Yeah, right.
100% of the time, I forget that they're there.
Well,
and there's a lot of
yeah.
them.
And there's some low maintenance plants, like a cactus, right?
That's
water
great,
like once a month.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But like, there's some high maintenance plants. Like you get somebody like some peonies or some
something that you have to
tulips.
water.
Yeah, like every day, and make sure it gets like 12 hours of sunlight. And it's just not gonna, like, that's just, you can't. A, you're putting a burden on that person, and B, it's gonna die unless it's a perennial.
Oh, if I get a
an
plant,
annual,
it's gonna die.
Yeah.
Have you seen that episode of New Girl where Nick gets a plant, and he basically, I can't remember who he was dating at the time, but he basically looks at the plant and says, "She's gonna break up with me." Because she knows that he can't take care of a plant, and then he was right.
Yeah,
he was right, basically.
Sure,
but he was on to her. But yeah.
Now plants are hard. I've had a number of different plants because I've tried.
Apparently, if you move them, it's like
stressful.
Yeah, so
Weird.
it's stressful for the plant. Like the plant's more likely to die. I don't know.
Sure.
I
had a fern one time, and I had a piano at my old college house, and in the corner, and I put a little fern over top of it, and it looked aesthetically pleasing for maybe a week, and then I totally forgot to water it, and all the fern leaves started falling off, and the whole piano was covered in these like brown crunchy leaves, and it was a disaster. My roommates were really mad at me.
I love the piano story on how you acquired that as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was free. That
just had to haul it.
Had to haul it. Yeah, me and my roommate went up there with his truck. We almost didn't take it back because it was so heavy.
Yeah.
And it's still, I'm sure it's still there to this day because there's no way they got it out of the house.
Right.
It's so heavy. It was impossibly heavy. But yeah, high maintenance plant. Just like I said, get them. If you're gonna get anybody a plant, get a perennial, something that'll live for a long time. Not because annuals, they'll die over the winter. And then you just got to go buy new ones, which I don't understand why people buy annuals in the first place. I get they're pretty, whatever, sure. But it's like Sisyphus pushing the rock up the hill. It's just a constant, it's meticulous.
Some people's hobbies, man. I get it.
I get it, man. Whatever. Number 4 on my top 10 things that you don't want for Christmas: a self-help book.
Because that could be misconstrued as a dig.
Yes, it could be misconstrued as a dig of like, hey, your mind's all messed up. You need this, and it's like. Yeah, it's like dealing with ADHD or something like that.
Are there a lot? Are there a lot of these?
Insane. Self-help books?
Oh my God.
That's a huge market.
Oh my God.
Buy it for yourself. That's fine. But if you get it as a Christmas present, then you're like, oh, other people know that I'm messed up in the head. You know what I mean? Like, and it's so abundantly clear that they're trying to help me.
And again, another thing that if you ask for it, it's great. But if you think everything's going fine, and you get 2 or 3 different people maybe give you one of these books.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. You get these. Yeah. Then you need to go see a therapist. If you get like 3 or 4 self-help books in a Christmas, then you're like, all right, I need to go see a specialist.
Didn't request one or expect anything.
That's like that could have been number 1. That really could have been number 1.
Yeah.
Self-help book. That's just like that's a bad look.
Yeah.
Because, like, how else could that be construed, right? Right away, it's like, this made me think of you. Why?
Right.
Do I need help?
I thought I was doing fine.
Yeah, I'm doing great. What do you mean? What do you mean? You thought of me?
You're right, though. There are a ton, man. Like, let's see, just Target's got Let Them Theory, Atomic Habits, Make Your Bed, Don't Believe Everything You Think.
Yeah.
Wow. Totally pro self-help books, by the way. And if people would like to, read as many as they want, then go for it. But yeah,
4 agreements.
If you are doing well mentally and you get one of those, that might be a surprise. One thing you didn't want.
Again, I'm pro self-help books, but just if you're out there thinking about getting a self-help book for somebody, just know that
Just
they'll
make
think
sure. Just make sure that they want one.
that you're kind of a jerk. They're like, why are you? Yeah, no, that's not a good look. Number 3 on my top 10 things that you don't want for Christmas, something that you know has been regifted. Like if you get like a juicer or like a shower radio that clearly looks like it was made in like 2014.
A blanket.
Blanket's a good one. Yeah, blanket. A half-burnt candle. Like there's a lot of regifted. And have you ever be honest? Have you ever regifted something?
Yes.
What was it?
You know another thing.
What was it?
I don't remember. I know I have though.
That's not true. The person that he gifted it to is listening right now.
Are you saying it's only happened one time? I mean, there are other.
You've done it multiple times.
Probably there are other things that you just get as a gift and maybe you store away in the garage for a while.
Yeah, of course.
You know the other thing, Bath and Body Works soaps.
Yeah, that's a big one.
I mean,
I had that.
You end up with those, and you're like,
I had that in my honorable mentions.
Yeah,
because it's like 3 in 1, and it's like shower and body, and and you're like, all right, so it's like mostly body.
It's like I'm not.
Do I want to put that
like,
in my hair?
Guys are pretty, for the most part,
Sure.
pretty low maintenance in terms of what they need. Like any kind of body wash, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, of
like
course.
Whatever's closest.
Yeah,
but something that's like very much girl scented. You're like, okay, who could use this?
Like, ooh, cherry blossom.
Yeah. Right.
I'll give this
Although
away to somebody.
Japanese cherry blossom, that's a great scent.
It's a good scent. No,
I just probably don't need it on me.
Agreed.
But
Yeah.
Anything regifted. Puzzles maybe.
Wishful dreams or no? What? There's one that's really good that I like from Bath and Body Works. I don't know. This is funny. I actually got body wash from Bath and Body Works not too long ago, and it was just called Football Season.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go.
The Ocean one's great.
So they're expanding.
Yeah, they are expanding. Ocean's great. But yeah, Football Season was funny, and my fiance she made fun of me for that one.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, you want to smell like football season?" I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
September, October, sure.
Yeah, I want to smell like a barbecue and beer. Freshly cut grass. Number 2 on my top 10 things you don't want for Christmas. Sean, you alluded to earlier, a gym membership.
Yeah, because that can be misconstrued as,
hey, you're fat.
A stab.
So my fiance has a
Unless
membership.
you ask for one.
Unless you ask for one. My fiance has a membership to a gym here in town, and there's a thing where you can hop on whenever you get married. Like you can hop on and you get like a big discount if you get on like a couples one. And she goes, "Oh," she's like, "Let's do that." And she's like, "Oh, I'll count that as your Christmas present." I was like, "Great." But I was like, what a terrible gift idea to get somebody a gym membership because it could be misconstrued.
Oh, okay. But that makes me feel better. So she didn't just straight give you a gym membership.
No, it was more like it was a money saving thing. But I thought the idea out of context, is not a great look.
Have you confronted her about this?
Yeah, we had a conversation about it.
Yeah,
I said that's very funny.
Okay, good.
But it's like imagine you go to. Like a secret Santa would be funny too. Like and like they open it up and they're like, "Oh, it's a 1-year membership to a gym." They're like, "Hey man, I'm doing fine.
Right.
I like do I need to do more? Is that what you're saying? What's your deal?" Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not a good look. It's generous, right? And if you ask for a gym membership, sure. That's fine.
Yeah.
But you don't give them.
If you ask for one or even indirectly ask for one, like, man, I could really use a, but like out of nowhere, especially if you're a little bit self-conscious.
Oh, 100%.
Like, especially if you know that you've maybe,
Do you have a gym membership?
Go a little bit. I don't.
I know what I'm getting you for Christmas.
There you go. Yeah, I don't have a gym membership. I weirdly have never had one, but most of the time it was because I lived in apartments. Like I would go to the gym, and
sure.
I certainly could use a personal trainer. Personal trainer wouldn't be bad, right?
You run, don't you?
I run, but that only you
don't lift or anything.
I lift. I do dumbbells, but not.
You have dumbbells at your house.
Yeah, dumbbells at my house, but
that's
not
the
as often as I should.
Like if I have a home gym,
yeah,
I need to go somewhere.
Right.
Because it's already the effort's taking me to go there, so I might as well do it. But like if I'm at my house and I have it downstairs, I'm like, I can just do that whenever, and then whenever never
that's
comes.
the tricky thing, right?
Yeah,
Totally.
That's tough.
At least the downstairs is a decent option. Garage is a decent option.
Sure, but it's still
yeah.
it's right there, and you're like,
You're
yeah,
right.
but it's in my
A lot of
house.
times you
I'm
need
always at my
to-
house. I can do
the
it
hardest
whenever.
part is getting there. Yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly. But if you get in the car and then go to the gym,
Yeah.
then it's like, all right, well that's
Right.
That's already happened.
Drum roll.
Number 1 on my top 10 things that you don't want for Christmas is a live animal.
Unless it's a bunny.
No.
Or
no.
dog.
That is like a high maintenance plant times 10, because which granted, by the way,
Kids love puppies.
I've given a live animal as a present before.
Which animal was it? Zebra?
No, it was my parents' cat, Muffin.
Oh yeah, and
But-
they hated it, didn't they?
My mom wasn't crazy about it.
Yeah.
So I had 2 cats growing up. Both of them passed away. They were very old age. And for the first time, like in my life, really, we didn't have any animals. And I was in college, but my parents didn't have any animals. And you could kind of tell like they were sad about it, because they're like, oh, we have like nothing here at the house. But like they were like, oh, well, we can actually like travel and do fun stuff. And then I come knock on the door,
And
like,
then they
here's a
can't.
cat,
Right.
and they're like, oh.
Although a cat can't, I don't know. I mean, can't you leave a cat at home for like
You can't.
3 days? I
Yeah,
don't know.
and have somebody go over there and check up on. But yeah,
Yeah.
they had like the
Dogs,
the
you gotta
refiller.
you gotta have a dog sitter.
Right. Yeah. You got to have a dog sitter. So dogs are a little different, but getting someone a live animal that's just and again, unless they like if you have a child who's been consistently asking for a dog, and you're in a situation where you can do that and you want to surprise them, that's great. But if you show up to somebody's house who like already has plans throughout the year, and you're like, hey, here's a dog.
I think the
They're
only
like,
pet animal.
Thanks, but like what I'm not. Like a surprise live animal is probably not the best way.
Yeah, no, totally. I think the only live animal I would be okay being gifted is like a fish
Yeah, and that'd be fine.
Yeah.
Like imagine if I came over to your house.
that you have to feed once every like 5 days.
Yeah. If I came over to your house and I gave you one of my dogs,
Yeah,
you'd be furious because you hate dogs.
totally. I love dogs. I do love most dogs. Dogs are great. We've been over this. What are some audible mentions?
The Bath and Body Works, just like those, because like
Soaps, washes, yeah.
but like those kits, you'll see them at like Walmart, like the kits, and also there are those weird kits where it's like like a Jim Beam barbecue thing,
Yeah.
and it's like there's no meat in it, and it's just like it's like a couple of shot glasses and like a spatula,
Yeah.
and you're like,
Right.
okay,
And like a 6-ounce thing of liquor.
yeah, and you're like, cool, but like also like what am I gonna use that for? And then that's usually always regifted,
Right.
like,
Totally. Those types of things are always regifted.
those cycle.
Yeah.
Those cycle. Like there's
Slippers
one.
maybe would be
Slippers
house
are
shoes, if you
yeah.
will.
Slippers are but like I like slippers.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with slippers. Now we are a strict no shoes household.
Oh, you are. Okay.
Let me rephrase that. My fiance has made a strict rule where we cannot wear shoes in the
Okay,
house.
nice.
No matter.
Yeah, you said it right the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we are a strict no shoes household.
Yeah, that's
Which
fair.
I was a shoes household kind of kid. Like
Yeah.
we wore shoes in the house. That's fine.
I wear my slides around my house all the time.
Yeah, I
mean-
think that's great. But like the moment, like if I buy a new pair of slippers right now, and I wear them outside once, I can't
Okay.
wear them back.
So
in the
you could
house.
wear them inside if you
I
don't.
could
yeah.
as long as they're inside
Right,
only shoes.
Right. Okay.
That's
Yeah.
that's the
Fair.
thing. Do you have any honorable mentions that you thought of? Maybe.
I mean, I will think on it, and maybe on tomorrow's show I'll come up with some.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, I thought of some that are probably not very appropriate that I'm going to save for a different time. But top 10 things you don't want for Christmas. That's a good one there. Dan Courtwright. Christmas coming up very soon. Hopefully everybody has a great holiday season. Again, we'll be back on air tomorrow. After this, though, talking a little Chiefs. They're heading to Kansas. Oh, my gosh. We're going to plug that a little bit before we go in more detail tomorrow. Kansas City Chiefs. Unbelievable. Starting in 2031 over in Wyandotte County. Exciting stuff. That's all coming up after this on ESPN Kansas City and KansasNation.com. Well, tomorrow we'll be back on air on ESPN Kansas City and KansasNation.com for Rock Chalk Sports, a special Christmas Eve edition. And make sure you follow us on socials as well. Dan Courtwright does a lot of updating, and KansasNation.com. We've got featured articles. We keep you up to date on everything going on in the world of KU. But yeah, our socials are big, so check those out.
Yes, at the Kansas Nation on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, Kansas Nation on Facebook. Keep you guys up to date on all things going on KU. We should start doing TikTok dances.
We should.
I should start making you do TikTok dances. I guess I
or
should probably
Elijah.
rephrase it like that.
Or Gabe Boucher.
Gabe would be great.
We
Yes,
get Gabe Boucher in.
we can get Gabe to do some TikTok dances. Maybe get Greg Gurley in here.
Maybe Easton John.
Yeah, no. We should start doing that.
One
I think
half
that'd
of
be
the law
good.
firm.
But yeah, no. Check us out on all of our socials. We keep you up to date on literally everything going on in the world of sports, and also check out KansasNation.com where we post all of our articles. Sean does a great job at writing some. I wrote one. Did I tell you that?
Yeah, the transfer portal one.
Yeah, that was my
sort
first.
of tapped me out while I was away with my new baby.
That was my first article I ever wrote, and Henry said he wrote it, Henry said that he read it, and he said it was good.
Oh, good.
So our resident linguist, Henry
he shouldn't
Greenstein.
have Henry Greenstein.
I know.
Those are some
That made me
those
feel
are some
good.
mighty kind words.
Yes.
From Henry. He said it
So-
was good. You said.
Just good. Yeah.
Okay, so he said it was good. Wow.
Yes.
Henry, you shouldn't have.
And he
You
was
shouldn't
like,
have done that.
He said it was good.
Oh,
That's what he did.
Wow. He
So,
loved it.
I'm taking it as a compliment.
He loved it. The resident linguist, California's finest. You will find him as well on tomorrow's show, Rock Chalk Sports,
Yeah.
KansasNation.com, ESPN Kansas City. Dan, the big news the past 24 hours has been the Chiefs officially saying they're moving to Kansas, man. Arrowhead
Yes.
lease as well as Kauffman Stadium lease, the Truman Sports Complex as a whole ends in 2030. And 2031, we don't know yet where the Royals are going to be playing, but the Chiefs are going to be playing in Wyandotte County, the Kansas Chiefs. I mean, this is absolutely massive news
It's huge.
for the state of Kansas. What are your feelings knowing that Arrowhead is going to be no more, but the Chiefs are heading over to the good side?
I think this is all in all a very good thing, right? I think it's excellent for the state. People are up in arms about, their tax dollars or whatever, but the economic growth for this is going to be huge, right? I mean, that's the way that Star Bonds kind of work. It incentivizes different businesses to come into Kansas. Now, once those Star Bonds are completely through, then those businesses start paying those tax dollars towards the state. But right now, what incentivizes them to come in is that if they're in the Star Bond district, they're not going to have to pay taxes. That's why, the Legends Mall has been so great with, Sporting KC and, the Kansas Speedway right there. Hollywood Casino came in. Nebraska Furniture Mart came in. The Legends was built, right? That's a Star Bond district in and of itself. They're going to expand that Star Bond district as well and put the Chiefs Stadium right around there, which I think is going to be huge. And Clark Hunt was on the radio today talking about how they're going to try to enhance the fan experience. They're going to try to keep the tailgating experience the same. They're going to have a parking lot, which I feel indifferent about. Obviously, I love the tailgating experience. They still need to probably do better in terms of building the public transit down there. But in terms of economic growth for the state, it's absolutely huge. I said this yesterday. I said if you wanted one, it probably was to be the Royals, just because those Star Bonds will get paid off a lot faster with 81 games per year as opposed to 8 or 9. But at the same time, Kansas City, now Kansas, is going to be thought of whenever you're talking Super Bowl, whenever you're talking Final Fours, any big tours going on. You're talking Taylor Swift. You're talking, Rolling Stones. Granted, I don't know if they'll be still touring.
Hey,
in
you never know.
2031. I saw the Rolling Stones last year
Yeah.
in Cleveland, and Mick Jagger's still kicking it, man. But
I'm just glad that Cleveland still has people
yes,
going to visit.
that's true. Well, they have the
tourists.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame there.
Yeah.
So that was kind of
That
big.
is a poll.
That was kind of a weird. That was one of the weirder. I never thought in my life I'd be taking a vacation to Cleveland, but I did. So
I don't think anybody takes a vacation to Cleveland. I think people go to
we
Cleveland
we
sometimes.
took a stop in Chicago,
Yeah.
and then we made a whole thing about it. I went down to Canton and saw the Pro Football Hall of Fame, which is great. But all in all, like I said, there's going to be more opportunities for a much larger things to happen, because this is apparently going to be a dome stadium, which is going to be huge, right? You need a dome.
$3 billion rendering I saw.
Apparently it's going to cost about $3 billion. The state of Kansas is offering up to 70%, so around $2 billion of that is going to be coming from the state of Kansas, which is going to be a lot of money. But all in all, like I said, I think this is going to be excellent. And the state of Missouri really fumbled this.
Missouri City, Texas?
No. The state of Missouri,
Yes.
the one just to
They
our
absolutely
east.
did. It was in April of 2024.
They had a
and
vote?
They had a vote, and you had literally Patrick Mahomes and Bobby Witt Jr. on commercials saying, "Hey, you guys got to vote to keep us here at Arrowhead, to keep us, at Kauffman Stadium. We want renovations.
Yeah.
And they said, no thanks. The
Yeah.
voters of Jackson County said no thanks. So
Yeah.
Laura Kelly, you got to credit her. I mean, everything that
Absolutely.
she's done in making this happen. I mean, you talk about making an impact, and certainly, she's been governor for quite some time, but she's made an impact now that'll be lasting forever, because the Chiefs, who have been across the state line for 50 plus years, what will it be, 60 plus years by the time they're done?
73. Well, I guess no, but they moved here in the 60s.
So it'll
yeah,
be
over 60 years. Well, over
it's
60 years.
just incredible to be able to poach the Chiefs, for lack of a better way of putting it,
Yeah.
and get them to Kansas is incredible. And that was the one thing that always kind of bothered me as a Kansas fan, is I've always loved the Royals and Chiefs and just knew that they were over there.
Yeah.
Well, now the Chiefs, huge brand right now. You look at the success the Chiefs have had, winning 3 Super Bowls and going to 5, all in the past decade, less than a decade.
Yeah.
It's incredible for the state of Kansas. Clark Hunt did say yesterday in Topeka, quote, "What makes Chiefs game day so special is you. Seats don't make noise. Concrete doesn't intimidate opponents. Parking lots don't cook barbecue. You do," end quote. And that's true. And I know that the Chiefs ownership, everybody who's a leader in the Chiefs front office, understands that people are upset from the Arrowhead Stadium side of things. But
Arrowhead's great,
they've
yeah.
got time now. It's going to be 6 years before the Chiefs are playing football, their home games in Kansas. They've got times, and you see some renderings. They're going to make sure that there's still some elements that remind people of Arrowhead and
Yeah.
what made Arrowhead so good.
Yeah, right. I think, in terms of like personality, like you want a stadium with personality, and Clark Hunt and everybody, they're going to do everything that they can to make sure it has personality. And like Allegiant Stadium out in Las Vegas, that's like one of the big things that we've heard, is that there's not a lot of personality there at Allegiant Stadium. Also, the one other interesting thing is that now the Royals have all the cards in their hands, because
And now Missouri is more and more desperate.
Absolutely, right? They've lost 3 NFL teams in the last, 30 years? They lost or I guess 40 years probably. They lost to St. Louis Cardinals, they lost to St. Louis Rams, and then now they've lost to Kansas City Chiefs. So they can't lose the Royals. So now the Royals have all of the cards in their hands, because you know what is looming? Nashville.
Yeah.
Right? So they're going to do whatever they can to keep the Royals. If
Portland.
that means a downtown stadium, then that means a downtown
Yeah,
stadium.
well, we'll talk more about this on tomorrow's show, but really exciting for the state of Kansas, at least in my opinion, and again, we'll discuss that. But 2031, Kansas City Chiefs are calling Kansas home. More coming up on Rock Chalk Sports tomorrow. Make sure you're tuned in. And for Elijah Schmidt and Dan Courtwright, Sean Kellerman saying we'll chat with you then. ESPN Kansas City and KansasNation.com.